Hello, Keith with Math Fun and Games here. Today, we're going to continue with our playthrough of the PanzerBlitz situations. We're on situation 2, turn 8. A brief review. The Russians are coming in from the north or the right side of the board. The Germans came in from the south side of the board. It's the Russians' goal to reach certain lines. They're headed from right to left, north to south. If they reach the first line marked over here, they get a marginal victory. If they reach the second line, this hex row, they get a tactical victory. And if they reach the third line, they get a decisive victory. The Germans win or lose on the basis of how many Russian units they can eliminate. If they eliminate 10 units, they get a marginal victory. If they eliminate 20 units, they get a tactical victory. If they eliminate 30 units, they get a decisive victory. Decisive victory will be very hard for the Germans to get in this situation because the Russians only start the game with 32 units. It's the Germans' turn first. There's no mine combat. I'm going to start over here, so it's going to be the fire phase. I'm going to start on the westernmost board. And here we go. So let's take a look. Does this vehicle want to fire? Now, they don't have overrun. They won't be able to, Germans won't be able to overrun these units because in order to overrun, you're not going to be able to enter the hex behind the hex you're overrunning. Cannot have an enemy unit on it. Do they want to fire or do they want to get out of there? The fire will be 1 to 2 odds. Let's take a look at the weapon effectiveness chart. Armor against infantry would be half firepower. So you're looking at a 3 to 16 attack. They can't be effective. So they're going to move back a hex, and they want to avoid the Russian close combat. So they're going to move back 2 hexes. Over here, center board. This armor unit's the first one we're going to deal with. There is a unit. No. Doesn't look like there are any units that the Germans can do an overrun attack. Can they fire at anybody? Over here, looks like they have a unit in range. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if this tank has line of sight to that. That would be a 7 to 12 attack. That would be a 1 to 2 attack. Well, it's going to try it. It's going to be a 1 to 2 attack. First, I want to check line of sight there. To here. It just barely misses. Well, because we can go hex center to hex center. If we went to hex center, it's clear that that left side is not blocked. So that's going to be a 1 to 2 attack. I will roll the die. And I get a 5, 1 to 2 attack, so no effect. And that vehicle is marked with fired. Over here, we have an obvious close assault. And I want to see if I can do something with these half tracks to slow the Russians down. That unit's going to stay there, but its half track is going to move out. It's going to start there. It's going to go 1. 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it's going to stop right there. So was there a movement penalty for moving up a hill? That is the question. Terrain affects hilltops. Per other terrain on hilltop hex. So there's just a movement penalty for going up the slope, basically. Good stuff. Next, we have this mortar unit over here. I'm going to move it forward 1 hex. Next, we have this infantry unit over here. It's going to load on the half track. Load up, gentlemen. Load up on the half track. There. And there. Now this truck. What am I going to do with this truck? This truck is going to go 1.5, and then it's going to park right under this rifle unit right here. Oh, that's going to be really poopy close assault, isn't it? I ain't gonna be much of a close. They're not even gonna be able to do it. They're not gonna be able to affect that rifle unit. Great. Okay, that's it for that board. Now, so we did that board, we did the fire phase, and we did the move phase. We still haven't done the close assault, so I'm just gonna do the fire phase and the move phase. Do the same thing for all boards. So on this board, we have the fire phase. Here to the hilltop, it'd be 1-to-1, but I have overrun. 1, 2, 3, and they'll overrun these units. That'll be a 1-to-2 attack -2. Oops, it's PanzerBlitz. 6, so no effect. Oh boy. All right, this unit right here, it's gonna go, is it fire first? No, fire's first. All right, we're a little bit mixed up here, but it won't affect what's going on. So overrun, 1-to-2 attack, -2, that'd be a 2 on a 1-to-2 attack, and these units are dispersed. So I'm actually skipping around now. So this unit adds fire. It has mortar, 15 firepower. It can fire against the unit on this hill. Half of that. So it'd be a 1-to-2 attack straight up. However, if it fires against these units, it's going to fire against one of these infantry units. It's going to be a 1-to-1 attack. Roll the dice. 1. Okay, 1-to-1 attack 1. So that will eliminate. It's a double D. It's a heavy dispersal, so that eliminates another Russian unit. And that gives the Germans at least a tactical victory. Because that is the 10th Russian unit eliminated. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. So there's the Germans' tactical victory. That's fired. Now, this unit is going to be difficult to hold the Russians back here. Really difficult. I'm kind of combining moves and fires right now, so they're just going to go down the hill. And that's it for over there. All right, last but not least, over here. That's going to be a closest one. They got the 2 tanks. There's kind of a crisis developing over here. This is an interesting situation. I could pull those tanks out of the town now. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that infantry unit and I'm going to move them back. I'm going to go 1, 2. It's basically just a blocking force. Now those armored vehicles, they're going to be useful. Well, those armored vehicles can actually do an overrun over here. A major overrun. So that'd be 26 to 4. Couple things I'm learning. On the middle board, I had 2 separate overrun attacks over here, which should have been one combined overrun attack. I don't know if that would have made much difference. It might have actually. So over here, these 2 units are going to overrun this unit. And it's going to be 26. Well, do I even need both units? No, I'm just going to have 1 tank overrun. 1, 2. So that'll be a 14 to 4. There'll be a 3 to 1, but there'll be a -2 on it. So I still have to roll the dice. So it's going to be a 2. So that eliminates another Russian unit. And that goes into the dead pool, so to speak. Now this unit, what's this unit going to do? This unit is going to move. I'd love to have this unit help those units on the hill right there. So what's going to do? It's going to pull out. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hopefully, can give some backup to those 2 units that are dispersed. I thought I had a close assault. Oops, in the westernmost board. Did I? No, I didn't. There's not enough firepower there. So that'd be a 5. Well, it'd be a 1 to 4 attack. No, that's a truck. Another thing I found out is that half-tracks can overrun. Half-tracks can do close assaults against every unit but armor, which is good to know. And I'm going to clear. That's going to be it for the German turn. I'm going to clear moved. Clear fired over here. The Russians are looking good. I'm going to clear fired. And the dispersed German units down here are now no longer dispersed. Move dispersal. Things are looking really good for the Russians. Things are looking choppy. Because if the Russians can get to the second phase line and have a unit remain at the second phase line, the second phase line being L, then they would have a tactical victory. And Germans are going to be hard-pressed to destroy another 9 Russian units over here. But we'll see. So we're going to go to the Russian turn 8. Fire phase. Do the Russians have any fire? Well, we could take out a truck over here. This is going to do them much good. I don't think they have any fire out west. Fire right here in the center. This unit has 12 firepower, but it only has a range of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there is no extended range. So I'd love to get some firepower on that mortar right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I can actually do an overrun on that unit. And then these units behind it are coming up onto the hill. Very good. So that's what I'm going to do, is do an overrun. But that's a self-propelled gun. The question is, I know German self-propelled guns cannot do overrun attacks. And the Russians do overrun attacks. Yeah. The Russian self-propelled guns can do overrun attacks. So that's what he's going to do. Then you have the infantry over here ready to back it up and go on the hill. So the Russians are holding that hill. Germans needed to hold that hill. I don't think I have any fire attacks over here. Oh, this mortar. This mortar is going to do anti-mortar fire. It's going to be 6 to 2. It's going to be a 3 to 1 attack. No modifiers. 3 to 1 attack, no modifiers. 2. And that eliminates that mortar. One less thing for the Russians to worry about. Disappeared. They will be marked. They fired. Things are looking good right now for the Russians. And that's fire. Center board. Now we have fire for the eastern board. There's no Russians aren't going to fire on the eastern board. And that's it for the fire phases. Now the move phases. Russians are going to move forward. Those units are moving forward. They can't be the only way. There can't be an overrun attack because can the Russians enter a stream hex side? That's a question. So they can. So this unit can be overrun. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That unit can be overrun by this armor unit. That's okay though. Meanwhile, this unit's moving forward. He's moving forward. These units are continuing to move forward. This guy right here, he just wants to do blocking. He just wants to block. He's just going to go right there. Block. That's it for the Russians. Well, the Russians are looking really solid right now for a tactical victory. They have a solid position behind line L. It remains to be seen whether they can get that decisive victory on that board. Germans would like to take out 9 Russian units now to also get tactical victory and force a effective draw. Movement on the center board. The center board. There is none. I should have fired him, but I didn't have him fire. So that infantry unit's going to go up on the hill. This infantry unit's advancing. This infantry unit's advancing. It's going to be over there. Down south here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to move forward, and later on going to try a close assault against them right there. Now down here, down south, the Russians are trying to move south. The Russians are trying to move south. Where are they in regards to their phase lines, their victory point lines? So they have to get to the other side of that ford over there. Probably not going to do it. I don't think they have enough time. What they can do is a close assault. That I have to undisperse that. What they can do is a close assault over here. There, both of these hexes. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to move further. They're going to close assault. All right. So that's the movement phase. We had the fire phase. Let's see if we have any close assault. So none over here in the westernmost board. None over here in the center board. The eastern board. Oh yeah, there's close assaults here. That's going to be a 6 day. It's a 1 to 2 with a -2 modifier. I rolled a 1. -1. It destroys both those half tracks. Wow. Big move for the Russians. Gone. And click on it. And gone. And the Russians can advance. Over here, close assault. It's going to be 12 to 8. The unit that's defending is in the woods, so it's going to be a 1 to 2 with a -1 modifier. And we get a 1 to 2, no effect. Last but not least, these 2 units over here. It's going to be a 1 to 2 with a -2 modifier. Question I have, does that engineer unit have the ability? I need to check. Yes. In fact, it's going to be a 1 to 2 odds. You're going to have a -2 modifier for the close assault, and there's an engineer unit. Engineers assist in any close assault with a -2, so it's going to be a 1 to 2 odds with a -4, and 1 to 2 odds 0, and we get a heavy dispersal. I believe that's it. I'm just going to go south to 1. east to west and take a look, see if there's anything I missed. I have to remove the movement markers, remove the fired markers, remove Russian dispersed markers, clean up the board. Russian dispersed markers, no. So that's it for this turn. All right, so that's it for turn 8. I believe we're going to be going into turn 9. Looks like the Germans, I mean, the Russians are going to get at least a tactical victory. And if they might not get that decisive victory, though. The Germans do seem to have a blocking position, enough to block off right there. However, the Germans would need to destroy 9 Russian units in the next 2 turns to get their tactical victory. I don't think that's going to happen, so I think my guess is that the Russians are going to end up with a tactical victory. The Germans are going to end up with a marginal victory. So the game and the day will be won by the Russians. But we're going to play out the last 2 turns and see what happens. A couple of mistakes I made. Half tracks can do close assaults. They just can't be involved in close assaults against our armor units. There was one more thing. Oh yeah, infantry units can ride on tanks, and that could have made a big difference for the Germans, but we'll see. All right, that's it. I improved my sound. I think I got some of that. I use OBS, and I made some adjustments. I'm also using Pipewire and Pulse Audio. I was using Pulse Effects. I erased using Pulse Effects. And the skipping seems to be a lot better. But we'll see. Hopefully the rest of the videos will have better sound. Thank you, and I will see you tomorrow.